Hey, what's going on guys, it's Tom here, and today what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do is how to create a cool spinning logo, really focusing on how we can differ the spinning effects and make it look consistent and all of that good stuff. So there's going to be a couple of different techniques that I'm going to use. You can incorporate these into intros or any type of motion graphics really, just kind of handy basic stuff to know. It's going to be quite a basic tutorial, but even if you're not a beginner, there might be some things at the end that you can pick up on. So anyway, the first thing we're going to do is bring our logo into here, or text. You could do this with as well, but generally you can do it with the logo. So I'm going to hit File, Merge, and we're going to bring in an AI file. So I'm just going to use the Horizon logo. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to merge all of these splines. Clicking on the top one, holding shift, and then clicking on the bottom one selects them all. Press connect plus delete, so we're going to make this into one spline. And then I'm going to click on the top one and hit delete without children, leaving us just this spline. So that's good, and then I'm just going to kind of move this to the middle. It doesn't matter that this isn't going to be exactly in the middle because of something I'm going to do with the camera, which you'll see in a minute. So yeah, anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is add an extrude nub. Gonna make this a child of the extrude nub, so this is just bulking it out like so. Then I'm just gonna go into the object, change this to, let's say, 60. There we go. And then I'm just gonna add some fillet caps. So go into your caps. Make sure you add them on the back as well, because remember with motion graphics, especially when it's spinning around, you are gonna see the back of the logo, so you want that to look just as good. It's not the same as banners. Fillet cap, the foot, I'll just change this to, yeah, 1 seems about good, so just go 1 on both. And this is just going to give it just a much cleaner look around the outside, just kind of highlighting some edges, and you know, that's making it look a lot nicer than if we didn't have them. Anyway, next thing we're going to do is focus on the spinning animation. So let's say that we've got a 5-second intro, which is 150 frames. So I'm just going to type in 150 like that. And then at 4 seconds, 120 frames, we want it to kind of be normal. So here, this is just an example, obviously. So what I'm going to do at 120 frames, I'm going to keyframe what it looks like now. But I'm going to go to the coordinates on the extrude nubs, and I'm just going to hit keyframe on these rotation tags down here. So they're all on 0. And then we're going to go back to frame 0, and we're going to click on rotate. And then you want to be careful the way you're rotating it, because you want to rotate it in a kind of fashion like how you imagine it to rotate. So for example, I'm going to rotate it like this, because that's going to be a nice rotation. But if I started rotating it in weird ways and stuff, it's not going to look very clean. So I'm just going to go for that. And then I'm going to go onto the extrude nubs, and then I'm just going to keyframe these once again like that. So now it's basically going to start off at these rotations, then it's going to work its way at 4 seconds back to how it was. So we just play this through, you can see the rotation that's created. So here we go. As you can see, it just kind of spins to there. That's something just really, really simple. And then that's kind of revealed there. Something you might notice is that it starts off slow and then kind of goes like that. Now I think the way you sort this out is you want to go to Window, Timeline, and then when you're up here, you want to look at the rotation here, and we want to put the rotation and tick constant velocity, I believe. And this basically means that it's just going to rotate in a linear fashion. So I think that should work. Yeah, as you can see, it rotates in a linear fashion rather than starting off slow and going fast in the middle and then ending slow. So you just want to go onto your timeline, click constant velocity. That's generally how I do it. Be right back. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to be looking at the camera and how we can also make that spin and add some extra camera effects. So you can make this look like it's spinning without actually keyframing this, so you can do it by keeping this in the same place and just moving the camera around, so it gives the illusion that the logo is actually spinning, and that doesn't limit you as much, or you can do both methods. So let me show you now. If we go to here, add a camera, I'm just going to pull this below, then we're going to click on this box here so it's white, so this means we're actually using the camera. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go right click on the camera, Cinema 4D tags, and I'm going to add a target. And then on the target object, I'm going to click this little arrow, and I'm going to click on our logo here. Let's just rename this Horizon, like so. So this means that the camera is constantly going to be looking at the middle of the Horizon logo. So as you can see there. So no matter where we move the camera, it's going to be looking at the middle of the Horizon logo. So that's really handy. And then we're going to add another tag, Cinema 4D tags, align to spline. And then we're going to make the spline that we want it to align to. So I'm actually going to go to my splines here and just pull out a circle one. You could do some really cool effects, maybe with like a helix or something like that. I'd love to see someone try and do that. But anyway, we've got a circle, and I'm just going to go onto my rotational tool, and I'm going to rotate my circle to 90 degrees so it's completely flat. And then I'm just going to pan out a second, and then we're going to see, we're just going to get the scale tool, and I'm going to make my circle a bit bigger. So this is how far you want the camera to be away from, go bigger, how far you want the camera to be away from the logo, so you make the spline, you know, something like that. And then I'm just going to pull this under here, and I'm going to go on to my align to spline, going to go onto the spline path, and then I'm going to click on the arrow, then click on the circle. And now, so what this allows us to do is it allows us to move the camera along this circle on the straight line while still looking at the logo, therefore creating a spinning effect. So this is great because what you can also do is you can change the position, like so. So you can add a bit of extra spin, like this. So I think 75 is actually straight. It's a bit odd, but 75 on the position is actually straight. So what we could do is 120 frames, and this might start to get a little bit confusing now, but on 120 frames I could have 75, and then at 0 I could have it on 0. So this just adds a little bit of extra rotation. It's going to make it look like it's actually rotating a bit faster. And then the last way that you can make this spin is actually if you go to object, and then you literally just rotate the actual spline. So I don't really have to show you guys how to do that, but it's basically the same thing with the Horizon, but you just need to create keyframes on the rotation with the spline and just rotate it around. But anyway, just mess around with that. Yeah, so this has been a really simple tutorial. Tomorrow I'm going to be looking at how we can actually use this same effect to reveal some text. So if you go, and if you're not watching this the day this is released, I'll put a link in the description linking you to that, so it's kind of like the step on from this. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, goodbye, leave a like.